But we are 20 hours from the trade deadline yesterday. We were emotional yesterday. You know, we were all happy with the Duran trade. We were all on the why can't I remember his name?
Bader.
On the Bader trade. But we believed, and I think it turned out to be true, that the Phillies were in talks to obtain Stephen Kwan, and we had all set our sights on Stephen Kwan. It didn't happen, and it kind of felt like a dud at the end of the deadline. So today's show, the main thing today is going to be how you are feeling the day after. We're 20 hours after the trade deadline, how we're feeling today. And if you don't mind, I will start off with how I'm feeling.
Oh, take the ball.
Go right ahead.
Well, the Phillies are better today than they were 48 hours ago. I think that is inarguable. They got debatably the best closer on the market, debatably the best closer on the market, and they got an outfielder who is a good addition to the outfield. The problem is that even though the Phillies are better, I don't think the Phillies have a better chance to win the World Series than they did 2 days ago because everybody else got better. I mean, maybe not everybody else. The Cubs didn't really get better. The Red Sox didn't really get better. But the Mets sure as hell got better. And the Padres sure as hell got better. And the Yankees sure as hell got better. So, it's one thing to go into the deadline, get better, and put some distance between you and the other teams you're competing with. It's another thing to go into the deadline and have to make moves just to keep up with everybody else. And that's what they did. And they needed a bat, and they knew they needed a bat. And that is like the most troubling thing to me, is if they didn't know they needed a bat, they wouldn't have been in conversations with Arizona for Suarez. If they didn't know they needed a bat, they wouldn't have been in conversations with Cleveland about Stephen Kwan. And they didn't get it. And they have to know deep down that they failed during the trade deadline yesterday. And my bigger picture worry is, can the Phillies win the World Series this year? Sure. But they're in no better shape than they were 2 years ago. They can win the World Series in the same way that anybody can win the World Series once they're in the playoffs. But they had an opportunity yesterday to get themselves a player that would have put them not only in position to win the World Series this year, but potentially in better position to win the World Series in the coming years. And here is my big worry overall. My big worry is that the Phillies are a better organization today than before Dave Dombrowski got here. That's for sure. But truthfully, that's not that high a bar. The Phillies are a good organization. But when you look around the league, I know that John Middleton wants to be considered one of the organizations. And I just can't help but look around every trade deadline and to a certain extent in the offseason and see other teams that are at that elite level running circles around us. We are sitting here worried about trading one or two prospects when the San Diego Padres went and traded more than 10 prospects over the trade deadline and do this every single year. Like, they do this every single year. We are now facing a Mets team that is not only incredibly rich, but incredibly well-run. And I just have to wonder whether Dave Dombrowski, at 69 years old, is still the same Dave Dombrowski compared to every other general manager than he was 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And if he's not, does he know what he's doing and he's a good baseball guy? Yes. But you need more than that. You need more than that. And I don't know if the Phillies are more than that. Like, I know the Phillies can spend $300 million and get themselves a team that makes the playoffs. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We want to be an elite organization. So I guess my thought a day later is, did they get better? Yes. But it sort of feels like they put 1 foot in and 1 foot out yesterday, and that they're not comfortable with doing the things that other winning organizations do at the deadline to help them win a World Series.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you said a mouthful there, and there's not much I can add to that other than I feel the same way I did yesterday. Not much has changed. I was certainly content once we hit the deadline at 6 o'clock and you knew there was nothing else bigger coming. You knew the major move had been made the day before. Yesterday they got Bader. We're going to see what he does. He's an improvement over what was out there. It's not something, Spike, that I think all of a sudden ignites a fan base. Now, if he goes out there and plays well and the team starts to play better, then sure, everybody will get behind it emotionally, but it's not one of those signings that comes in and now we all can't wait to see him play tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No.
It's
He's not that at all.
One of those.
Yeah.
So
By the way, he's not playing tonight.
there you go.
Oh, that's crazy.
But is Durant gonna play? Is he available?
Durant's here. They're
Okay.
working on the entrance
Okay.
earlier today.
Get it together.
Okay.
Get it
All right,
together.
good,
Because
good.
he has to feel at home.
Yep.
He has to feel at home. Big weekend. So yeah, but this is where we are with the team. So for me, it pushes me more towards the stars have to play like stars if they're going to do it.
Oh, for sure.
So that's where it sort of pushes me more towards those guys are going to have to lead the way.
215-59.
Turners, Schwarbers, Harper.
Oh, it's on them.
Yeah, they got to lead the way.
215-592-9494. A day later, what do you think the Phillies at the trade deadline, Jack?
So real quick, also Johan Rojas optioned to AAA.
Okay,
So,
there you go.
everyone's.
I don't know
I know he's the best punter in baseball, according to people yesterday. They were calling in begging for more Rojas, but
Yes.
he's back down to AAA. So I'm actually surprised at my inability to talk myself into this deadline because I tried. I really did, and I think Harrison Bader's good. I'm excited about the idea of Harrison Bader. I just wanted someone else, and I really feel like they blew it. Like I just feel like they blew this deadline. I thought they got 80% of what they could have done. And if you couldn't have gotten another bat, which they could have gotten Ryan O'Hearn if they wanted. Eugenio Suarez did not go for what people thought he was going to go for.
They could have had Suarez if they wanted.
They could have had Suarez if they wanted. Even if you didn't want to do all that, you could have gone out and just made it a Super Bowl pen. Like you could have. The Yankees yesterday got Bednar and Duvall. Like there was other moves to be made, and it felt like we're close. But we're not going to go all in. We're not going to go all in. We're gonna hold some of these prospects back. And you mentioned Dombrowski, right? Dombrowski is a guy that takes direction from ownership. With the Red Sox in 2018, they told him, burn it to the ground, whatever it takes, go win me a title. And I just think that this comes down to Middleton not wanting to sell the farm, get rid of all the prospects because he's worried about the ballpark not being filled if for some reason Schwarber's not here, for some reason JT's not here, and these guys get older and they're not as good. And while I hear that, I think that is, and I understand that, I think that is about business versus baseball. And I think that they've gotten more into the business of having the ballpark filled every night and them being one of the teams in the mix. And they've gotten away from, let's go win a world championship.
Yeah, I agree with you that Dombrowski takes his cues from Middleton. But I also think, like, the idea of selling the farm shouldn't even exist. Like, I don't know how baseball teams can sell the farm. When I look at the elite organizations in baseball continuing, I'm not talking about small market organization. Those guys have to develop players through their system, and then once they get expensive, they leave. That's not the world that we're in, right? Like, they have to develop those guys and keep those guys because those guys have to be stars for them. But the elite organizations that are in big markets that spend money do both. They are able to trade prospects and pay guys and do all of those things. And like that is if we don't have enough of those guys, that's on Dombrowski too. Like, we should have enough to be able to withstand trading Aiden Miller. Now, I get you can have your untouchable. Everybody can have their untouchables. It's fine if Painter is their untouchable, but like then you need more to be able to hit those deals. And the other thing I'll say about Dombrowski is my worry about him also is his. And I'm projecting, I'm guessing here, is his insistence on winning the deals. That is what I worry about. What I worry about is his insistence on value when the real value is the player that you are getting. And what he did is that he put all of his eggs in the Stephen Kwan basket in the trade deadline. That's what he did. He thought he could win the trade with the Guardians, or he would have gone out and gotten Suarez, or he would have gone out and gotten O'Hearn. But he was so confident in winning the deal that the Guardians would break that he let that go, you know? So that is a strategic error from him. I agree with you on Middleton, and I agree that he is probably scared of the future and those sorts of things, but there is a push and pull for both of them. Like, Dombrowski could tell him, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, and where I do agree with you is that, I mean, Max Kepler's a $10 million mistake.
Yes.
They could have used that $10 million on a better player. By the way, Max Kepler starting in left field tonight. So,
there you go.
So he's
There
still
you
here.
go.
The one thing that I've heard a lot, and Ike said it, and while I do agree, but what makes me frustrated about not getting another bat is the idea of the stars being the stars. And while I do agree, I think they have to, they also might not be. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we talk about the 08 team, right? Ryan Howard didn't hit a home run until game 4 of the World Series. Like, it's not like he was going off that postseason, the stars weren't being stars. Like,
Really?
yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
That night he had 2?
Yeah.
I mean, I was at that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the night he had 2.
Yeah.
That was the first time he had gone yard.
He hadn't gone yard. It was either game 3 or 4, but he didn't
Yeah,
go
I
until
remember that,
that
yeah.
far into the postseason.
Okay.
You know, and like Utley he hit the home run off of low against the Dodgers, but wasn't going off, and he hit the game until game 1 of the World Series, the home run to put him ahead. Like, I wanted more, another bat there to spread out the possibility of Schwarber not doing what he did in the Mets series last year, or Turner going back into being a pumpkin in the postseason last year, and God forbid if Harper's not how Harper has been in the postseason. Like, that's my concern.
Yeah, and the Stars do have to do what they do, but then if they don't, remember, it is the team that invested in those players. And it's the $10 million for Kepler and the $20+ million for Castellanos and the $20 million a year for Taijuan Walker. Like, think about that. Add up the production of that. That's what they are paying Nick Castellanos, Taijuan Walker, and Max Kepler is what Juan Soto gets paid.
The Castellanos and Taijuan.
Like, think about the difference in production there.
The Castellanos and Taijuan Walker deals are the two biggest things that are hurting this franchise's ability to win a World Series right now.
Yes,
because they can't use that money on they're already over the fourth wall of the luxury tax or whatever, and they have pretty unproductive $40 million. Well, in that case, adding Kepler, $50 million.
$50 million.
No.
$50 million a year. All right. 215-592-9494. A day later, what do you think of the Phillies trade deadline?